Hi, hello guys, this is Vijay, chemist lecturer from Ailaba Junior College. As you know that we have started our NEET series. So based on that NEET chemistry, unit 2 atomic structure, we are discussing many more topics. And today we are going to discuss few topics from this chapter. So today we are going to discuss few topics from unit 2 atomic structure. So let us see one by one. So first we are going to discuss about isotopes, and then isobars, and then isotones. So what is the definition for these three terms, and with the example we will discuss it now. Okay, let us see one by one. So first, isotopes. So isotopes are nothing but the atoms of the same element, which have the same atomic number, but they are having different mass numbers. So if the element which is having the same atomic number but which has different mass number, okay, same atomic number and different mass number. So in the previous class we discussed about what is the meaning of atomic number and what is the meaning of mass number. Okay, so atomic number we are using to denote with Z, okay, and mass number we are denoting with the letter A, capital A. Okay, so isotopes are nothing but the atoms which are having the same element but they have the same atomic number with different mass number. So this is said to be isotopes. Now let us see few examples of this isotope. So if you look at this example, you know, the isotopes of hydrogen, and which has three different form of isotopes. Let us see one by one. And these three isotopes of the hydrogens are said to be, commonly it is called as, you know, hydrogen, deuterium, tritium. So these are the three type of these isotopes. So let us see one by one. These are the example for isotopes. As I said that isotopes which are having same atomic number and they have different mass number, and atomic number we are denoting with the letter Z and the mass number we are denoting with the letter capital A. And these are the few examples for isotope. Isotopes of hydrogen, okay, isotopes of hydrogen. So for the hydrogen you see we have three different form of isotopes. They are commonly called as protium, deuterium and tritium. And these are the common notation, no, symbolic notation for these three type of isotopes: protium H11 and deuterium H12 and tritium H13. So these are the common symbolic notation. And talking about the atomic number, as I said, isotopes are nothing but they have same atomic number and different mass number. So atomic numbers are similar, same here. All these are called as atomic number. Yes, so atomic number for protium, deuterium, tritium are similar, same, 1, 1, 1 each. And as comparing to this mass number, you see mass number it is differing with each isotopes. For protium that is 1 and for deuterium that is 2. That is the reason we are calling it as deuterium. Dew meaning is related to number 2, no? Deuterium. And tri is nothing but 3. So that is the reason we are calling it as tritium, or tritium we are supposed to call it as, okay. So 1, 2, 3. So these three are said to be the different mass numbers of the hydrogen isotopes. As comparing to this number of protons and neutrons in this chart, you see number of protons for hydrogen that is 1 and neutrons that is said to be nil, no. And comparing to this deuterium, the number of protons are similar, 1 and 1, neutrons as well. And tritium you see number of protons are 1 and number of neutrons are 2. So this example can easily expresses what is the term that is related to isotopes. Finally, you know, isotopes are nothing but these are the elements or these are the atoms that have same atomic number and they have the different mass number. So this is about the examples for isotopes. Okay, so now look at this table, we can easily understand about the different elements which has different isotopes. Say for example, like carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, uranium, they have different type of isotopes. Carbon 612, carbon 613, sulfur, uranium, they have different type of isotopes. Carbon 612, carbon 613, carbon 614, and oxygen, oxygen 816, 817 and 818. Similarly, nitrogen, there are two isotopes for nitrogen, nitrogen 714 and nitrogen 715. Sulfur, it has 4 different forms of the isotopes, like, sulfur S1632, 1633, 34 and 36. Similarly, uranium as well. Okay, so these are the few examples for some other elements as comparing to this hydrogen, different type of the isotopes. Okay, so now let us talk about these isobars. Isobars are the atoms of different elements, the elements which has different type of atoms, right? So atoms of the different elements, they have the same mass number but they have different atomic number. Here the mass number are similar of these particular series of a particular type of atom, but they have different atomic number. So let us see few examples for these isobars. As we are talking about these isobars, you see the total sum of the protons and neutrons present in the particular element's atomic structure, in the nucleus, which are nucleus of this each atom which are same. Okay, so the total sum of the total sum of protons as well as the neutrons which is present in the nucleus, which are similar. Okay, protons and neutron. So these both are present in the nucleus of the atom, which are similar to each other in this particular case. So now let us see few examples for this these isobars. So here are few examples like argon, potassium, and calcium. So these are the 3 different elements. They have different type of the isobars. So let us see one by one. So here are the few examples for isobars, the elements which has different form of these isobars. Say for example like argon, potassium and calcium. So here you can see the difference between the the atomic number and the mass number. As comparing to this atomic number, you see the atomic number that is differ with the mass number, but the mass number which is similar to all these category, you see. So this is one of the example for isobars. Now let us talk about isotones. Okay, so the atoms which are having the same number of neutrons but they have different mass numbers, they are said to be isotones. So look at these examples. Say for example here 2 different categories are there: silicon, phosphorus and sulfur, that is one category; carbon, nitrogen and oxygen, that is another category. In all these category we can able to see the number of neutrons which are similar but as comparing to the mass number. Yes, so the mass number which are different for each category. Similarly, here also in this second category you see carbon, nitrogen and oxygen. Here also we have same number of neutron. This is what number of neutron. So number of neutrons which are similar as comparing to the mass number of the element. So these are the few examples for these isotones. And isotones are simply we can say that the atoms which are having same number of neutrons but they have different mass numbers. So that is said to be isotones. Okay, so if you look at this table, we can easily able to understand about the different terms which we are using for this, like these isotopes, isobars and isotones, and their properties as well. See, isotopes, you see, they have the same number of protons, but they have different number of neutrons. And likewise, isobars, they have the different number of protons as well as neutrons, but the same sum of the protons and neutrons. These elements are said to be isobars. Likewise, these isotones which have the same number of neutrons, but they are differ with the number of protons. They are differ with the mass number. So these are the two different categories of these isotones. So in all, these neutral atoms, number of electrons, that is always equal to the number of protons. So in all, if you compare that, the neutral atom, that is the neutral atom, that is always equal to number of electron, that is always equal to number of proton. Yes, in all the cases, if you see the neutral atom of these all cases, if you see number of electron, that is always equal to the number of proton. So this we should remember, and based on these few questions may come, we should able to solve that questions. Okay. So this is what the today topic when we are talking about this atomic structure, isotopes, isobars and isotones. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about drawback of the Rutherford's atomic structure. As we know that Rutherford, he was the first person who explained about this planetary model of atomic structure. Yes. So the drawback of Rutherford's atomic structure, you see, the major drawback of this Rutherford atomic structure is about stability of the electron. Stability of the electron. So he wouldn't explain about the stability of the electron. So how? Let us see this. According to this Maxwell theory of this electromagnetic radiation, a charged body or a charged particle which is moving around, the influence of the attractive forces that loses or that losses the energy continuously. Okay. So it is in the form of electromagnetic radiation. Say for example, any charged particle, which is present. So any charged particles, which is moving under the influence of the attractive forces. Say for example, the forces might be a centrifugal force or a centrifugal force. So the any charged particle which is moving under the influence of the attractive force, which could loses its energy continuously. So in that case, Rutherford, as he said, according to this planetary model of atomic structure, electron which is revolving around the nucleus in a circular path called orbit. So that is the first postulate of this Rutherford's atomic structure. So just if we could imagine that the electron which is moving around the nucleus of an atom, that could able to loses its energy, because which is continuously moving around it with the force of attraction of this nucleus. So that could easily loses its energy. Okay. That could easily loses its energy, right? So that means what? The electron is also said to be a charged particle, a charged body, as comparing to this Maxwell theory. No. So when comparing to this Maxwell theory of electromagnetic radiation, this electron of an atom also said to be what? It is also a charged particle. And this charged particle, what could happen when it is continuously revolving around the nucleus, that could able to emit the radiation. As a result of this, what happened? The electron, they should loses its energy at every turn. So for every turn of this, the path of this electron, they could loses its energy. And finally what happened? They could come closer and closer to the nucleus, and finally that could fall into the nucleus, and that could able to collapse. So that leads to what? The atomic collapse. That could able to collapse, atomic collapse. And the calculation that have been shown in this, that should be taken only for 10 to the power of minus 8 second for an electron to spiral into the nucleus, as compared to the calculation 10 to the power of minus 8 second for the electron that could able to spiral into the nucleus. So, however, what happened? This could not happen when this charged particle of this electron continuously moving around this nucleus. For every moving around this spiral of this orbit, every turn that could able to loses its energy. So, that finally what will happen? The electron could able to collapse with this nucleus. That is, but this could not happen in for every, this could not happen for every atom. Yes. So, here Rutherford, he is unable to explain about the stability of an atom. Yes. So, that is a major drawback of this Rutherford's atomic structure. Here this is not happening for every atom. That is the reason, Rutherford's atomic structure, he could unable to explain the stability of an atom. Yes, the stability cannot be explained by him. That is a major drawback for this Rutherford's atomic structure. But this was explained very clearly by Niels Bohr. So, according to this Niels Bohr model of an atom, this stability of an electron could be somewhat managed. So, how it is managed? Let us see. Before that, let us discuss about what are the development that leading for the Niels Bohr's model of an atom. Okay. So, now let us discuss about these developments leading to the Bohr's model of an atom. Yes. So, these are the two major concepts we should know very well about, that this concept that could help for the development of Niels Bohr's atomic structure. Okay. So, there are two major concepts that we are going to discuss here now. One is said to be the dual behavior of electromagnetic radiation, and second one is atomic spectra. Okay. And these two major concepts, they played a major role for the development of Rutherford's model of an atom. Okay. Now let us talk about this, the first concept, dual behavior of electromagnetic radiation. So this is nothing but how this light, the radiation that has both the characteristic features like, the particle-like property and also wave-like property. Okay. So there are still there are few theories which is going on about the behavioral nature of the electromagnetic radiation. Okay. So according to this, electromagnetic radiation are the light, that has both the particle-like characteristic features or the properties and also the wave-like properties. Okay. And followed by this atomic spectra. There are some experiments which have been conducted based on this Rutherford's model of an atom, and as a result for this, the atomic spectra of atoms can only be explained by assuming of a fixed or quantized, quantized or fixed. So, quantized electronic energy levels which is present in each and every atom. So, these quantized or the fixed energy are utilized by the electron for revolving around the nucleus, and they are said to be the pockets, energy pockets. Okay, that we will discuss later. So, these are the two major concepts, the dual behavior of electromagnetic radiation and also the atomic spectra that would, that this atomic related to the experiment on this atomic spectra that would have explained very clearly about a quantized or the fixed energy level that could be maintained for the electron of each and every atom that would help for the electron revolving around the nucleus. Okay. So, these are the two major concepts that leads to the development of Bohr's atomic theory. and this video we will continue with one more video. Until then, thank you guys.